Yeah, folks, we're here at our nutshell Pram Excuse Me. She's ready to go in the water. As far as integrity of hull and all other parts, we've got a little bit of finished paint to do just to make her look pretty, give a little extra protection. But we're getting ready to roll up the plans, and that's kind of a big thing for me. It's like watching, well, it's not anywhere close to like watching your kid graduate from high school or college, but it's along the same vein. So we'll talk about these plans a little bit before we roll them up, and who knows, down the road one day maybe we'll build another one, or we'll have the plans handy to reference for someone else who may want to do that. But these plans from the Wooden Boat Store come in 8 sheets. The first sheet is tells you how to do the building jig. The second sheet is a template for the molds. Sheet number 3 is a general arrangement plan. So there's a profile view, half breadths. And you get quite a few measurements off of this. It's also got some conversion details. It's got the list of all the lumber, all the little things you need to buy that will get you going. Sheet number 4 is the, what's it called? Sailing version details. So you've got measurements for mast, boom, yard, rudder, sail, dagger board, etc., plus additional materials you need to build that. Sheet 5, lines and offsets. Sheet number 6 are full-size patterns for the bow and stern transoms, the midship frame, and the keel, the forekeel, I should say. Sheet number 7 of 8 is the general layout for your transom and your bow transom, laminated frames, forekeel. And the last sheet is plank layout. You're going to be buying some 1/4 inch, a couple of sheets of 1/4 inch for your planks, and you'll have quite a bit of 1/4 inch left over because this goes over onto 2 sheets if I remember right. And then you got your 3/8 inch, which is your bottom, and your rudder blade, which we found out the other day, your dagger board trunk sides, and that's 3/4 inch back on the earlier plans for the transoms. So that's the 8 sheets. It's Wooden Boat Plan number 41 in their book. I've talked to the folks at the store there. They have no idea how many plans they've sold since 1983 is when the design came out. 1987-ish, I'll say. 86 is when the build guide came out. Somewhere during the time frame. I'm not sure if there was a VHS, but I know there's a DVD that will go along, and it's got a lot of helpful information in there with Eric Dow building the boat. And so there's a lot of resources out there, thousands of people who have built them, and a lot of them have been very helpful with tips, how they set theirs up, what they do, and then towing them around the world. And also have a special shout out to Mr. Maynard Bray, who's been very helpful when we're faced with not being able to get the same kind of materials they used, or wanting to know if we could change something a little bit here or there. He would give us his expert opinions on the matter, and we could put those into play on the boat. In fact, I have to also credit Maynard when we were building a little punt during the pandemic of 2021. We wanted a little project. We were thinking of a project that a family could do. We saw a lot of folks wanting to get outside, get on the water with their families, and something that they could do in their garage or their driveway to build a little boat for little kids, big kids, big adult kids, that could be thrown in the back of a pickup truck. Thinking most of those family trucks today have a little 6.5 foot bed, tailgate folds down. We're thinking, well, something around 8 feet that wouldn't poke too far out of the back of a pickup, and they could throw it in there, run down to their local drop of water and put the boat in and throw rocks in it or fill it up with sand, or just, jump in and out of it, splash water, and just kind of have family fun putting it together, and then going and playing with it. And so that's why we started working on the punt, trying to maybe use some materials you could source locally, and talking to Maynard about some of the ideas on shapes and sizes for that, and because we want to do the same thing with our family and our grandkids. And so that's the impetus for building this, is going to kind of be a little trainer for a little young one that's running around. She'll get to play with belaying pins and halyards and gaff rigs, etc., at an early age, and we'll watch her and we'll learn from her about how to work the thing right. But Mr. Maynard was the one that said you should build a nutshell pram. So late 2020, ordered these plans and started looking at them about 2021 early on. And we had a home port change in us. We had to come from Florida up to Virginia. So that weren't building things during that time period. We were busy moving 15 other small boats, 900 miles. And then when we got here and started getting settled, beginning of this year, wintertime, could start cutting out some of these little pieces a little bit at a time. Some of them, like the piece of plywood, went into the house, sat on the dining room table, and we traced out the planks and didn't cut in the house. Skipper won't let me do that yet. She'll let me bring boat parts in. She'll let me varnish if I've got some towels down, or even a little bit of paint. But no saws in the house so far. So we're working on that. So that's why we've been working on this. And some of y'all may know, we've told a few of you, how long does it take? How long does it take you? It's like, well, I probably have about, if you look on our blog, which is smallboatrestoration.blogspot.com, look for the link for the nutshell Pram Excuse Me. There's probably 40 or so work days in there, but a day is not 8 hours spent totally focused. That day is getting up and going to the grocery store and doing some laundry and loading, unloading dishwashers, putting bricks down, doing other landscaping, etc. So I'd say on average, a day of work on this pram was either maybe 10 minutes for a quick second coat of varnish, or in other times it was, full 6-7 hours of chopping up perfectly good lumber into boat parts, so that someone can average it out and do the math for us, as far as how long it takes. And I would just say, make it take as long as you want it to, because that's all part of the fun, is putting this together and getting to chat with people around the world about their ideas on what can happen in the process of putting this together. And then we'll continue on asking for other folks' knowledge on best practices for sailing, rowing, sculling, punting, ULOing, towing. Let's see what else we got. Double paddling, throwing rocks in it, filling it up with sand, etc. So we appreciate all that information, all that knowledge folks have exchanged with us, and we're more than happy to answer questions or take a peek at our plans. If someone's got a question about it, thinking about building one, or is in the process or restoring one, we'll be more than happy to help out with that. Let me get these plans rolled up. We'll put those there till next time, and put them in with our other plans. And we'll hoping for some nice, almost fall weather. We'll keep the information flowing your way about getting her out for float test. Not worried about float test. Don't really care if she floats or not. We'll take some duct tape. I'm pretty confident that she will float. And then float test takes all of about 2 or 3 seconds, and then we'll go into the dynamic aspects of the functional checks. For start off with some, Skipper likes to paddle, so she'll probably paddle first, and then we'll start adding bits to her on top of that. She'll probably go to sailing. I'll probably do the rowing. Towing is probably going to be me with the line over my shoulder, towing her around. Any other high-speed towing, we'll have to press someone else into service to provide a boat. Steve, I'm talking about you. But it's going to be a lot of fun, and it'll just be another boat in our quiver of boats that, depending on the condition, the area we want to go to, the temperature, the waves, etc., or lack thereof, we will. We've got a lot of options. We're blessed in that regards to go out and mess about in boats, and that's what's coming up next. So that'll about do it.